The movie begins with a couple of middle-aged guys strolling through some sort of facility, as a younger lady in a lab coat attempts to notify them about an event at the Stockholm facility. They are talking about unimportant matters, about marriage and prospective children. The two men are not particularly concerned about what she is telling them. They say that their Japanese plant will complete the task, and that their American facility often comes in second. The younger of the two guys invites the elder one to spend the next weekend at his place, as they get into a golf cart and leave. Dana and Jules are discussing education in a room in a college town when the scene changes. Dana allegedly had a negative relationship with one of her instructors. Jules' boyfriend, Kurt, walks in and throws a football at the girls. It flies out of the window, and Kurt's friend Holden, a fix-up for Dana, catches it down below. The guys have arrived to pick up the ladies for a long weekend at Kurt's cousin's lakeside cabin. After Dana has finished packing, everyone goes to pack the RV. When they are about to depart, their pal Marty arrives in his car and starts smoking marijuana from a large bong that also functions as a travel mug. The two middle-aged men, Sitterson and Hadley, are watching all of this unfold on television screens within the previously shown facility as the scene cuts back to them. It appears that they have been using several methods to intoxicate the kids. Nonetheless, they don't elaborate. When they stop for gas and instructions, the group is near to the cabin. Mordecai, the attendant, is an elderly, unwelcoming, and perhaps insane man. They won't have any trouble getting to the cabin. He assures them it's getting back that they should be concerned about. When he calls Jules the kids make fun of him, he becomes snarky and violent, and there is almost a fight. As an alternative, everyone climbs back into the RV and they take off. To reach the cabin, they must pass through a U-shaped tunnel carved out of the mountain. A bird tries to fly over the ravine as they travel through it, but it collides with an unseen barrier. The bird is electrocuted. Hadley answers the phone when it rings, back at the facility. Mordecai is on the line. He says the college students are on their way to the cabin, and warns them to be careful because the revelers almost messed it up for them. He then becomes furious that Hadley has put him on speakerphone and hangs up, to the laughter of Hadley and Sitterson. When they reach the cabin, they unload. They are still clearly under the surveillance of the facility staff's installed cameras. Holden is in his bedroom getting ready for the beach when he spots a hideous picture on the wall. When he takes it down, he discovers a window leading to Dana's room across the hall. She begins to without realizing that Holden, in the adjacent room, can see everything she is wearing because of the mirror in her room. Holden rushes into Dana's room, informs her of the situation, and then switches rooms. Dana can now see Holden, and she clearly likes what she sees. Everyone working at the plant has gathered to put bets on the decision made by the occupants of the cabin. Hadley truly hopes it's the merman. The way the other agents are acting astounds a rookie agent, named Truman. He is advised not to condemn the other agents for their seeming flippancy by Lynn, a more seasoned agent, who says she understands how he feels. Though they all appear to recognize that what is happening is of the highest significance, Truman nevertheless questions Hadley and Sitterson about the processes, because he believes it is unjust. Everyone in the cottage enters the living room and starts to drink. Marty continues to consume the... They all begin to play Truth or Dare, as they are all starting to feel quite trashed. Jules is dared to have a counter with a wolf head that is displayed on the wall. Dana then takes the lead. When the cellar door suddenly swings open, shocking everyone, she has just chosen Dare. They challenge her to enter the basement. She follows, and the others do as well. There is a ton of very odd stuff down there. Dana takes a journal in her hand. Kurt selects a puzzle ball and attempts to unlock it. Jules begins to put on the jewelry that matches with the bridal dress, after deciding she loves it. Holden is captivated by a child's jewelry box that opens to reveal a dancing ballerina while Marty is gazing at a conch shell when suddenly Dana calls the others. The rest of the group put down what they are looking at and approach her. She begins to read the journal to them. It turns out, the little girl who kept the journal was violently by her father. There is a feeling that once someone reads the Latin words at the diary's end, they will all come back. They shouldn't read it, argues Marty. Dana should read it. He hears a voice instruct. No other people appear to hear the command. Dana decides to read the Latin. Against Marty's advice, and somewhere outside, the zombie-like members of the Diary family emerge from their graves. It turns out that maintenance and the new intern won the pool at the facility with their choice of redneck zombies. Hadley is quite disappointed that he won't be able to witness a merman. The kids return to the living room at the cottage. Kurt and Jules are acting strangely. While Kurt is being combative and disrespectful against his girlfriend, Jules is dancing extremely suggestively in front of the fire. Marty recognizes this, but the others dismiss his worries. Kurt and Jules make the choice to take a walk together. They begin to have intimate actions in the woods as a result of some pheromone fog, but the zombies prevent them from doing so. Kurt heals Jules after she receives a stabbing to the hand. Despite being stabbed in the shoulder, he lives. Kurt witnesses the recapture and execution of Jules. After escaping, he sprints back to the cabin. Hadley and Sitterson appear to be praying while Jules is losing her life. When Hadley pulls a lever, blood pours into a groove in a stone tablet, revealing the outline of the whore, a feminine form. The ground begins to tremble. When Marty walks outdoors after hearing a voice in his head, Kurt is outside, battling off a zombie as he runs toward him. They both enter and close the door. Jules has passed away, Kurt informs everyone. They resolve to fortify the home and remain a unit. Only Marty is aware of the voice from the facility, telling them to separate. Dana, Holden, and Marty all leave to their individual rooms, despite his pleas for them not to separate. Gates immediately close behind them. Nobody at the institution can figure out why Marty isn't responding to their pranks. The plan is not being followed, and he can hear the whispers. They are concerned that he will wreck everything. Marty smashes a light in his room, and when he lifts it up, a camera is inside. Everything he has said regarding this location has been supported by this. As he prepares to look around more, a zombie bursts through the window and drags him outdoors. They battle. Marty receives a backstab wound before being carried away. Bad noises follow. Poor Marty. The facility staff are happy that Marty won't interfere with their strategy. However, they are still looking into why their medications didn't help him. They come to the conclusion that they overlooked one of his stashes when they were mixing his marijuana with their medications, making him resistant to their ruses. The silhouette of the reveler is stained by blood. The earth trembles. A zombie tries to enter Dana's room through a window. Holden breaks the glass between their rooms when he hears this from next door and pulls her into hit. They discover a door in the floor that opens to a different underground area. It appears that this was the room where the girl from the diary was beaten and tortured by her father. The door won't open, despite their efforts to escape. Holden receives a backstab from one of the zombies as soon as they come across one of the zombies. Just as Kurt unlocks the door from the other side, Dana stabs the attacker many times. The three of them enter the RV. A bloody handprint is visible on the doors outside when it shuts. Hadley discovers, as they get closer to the tunnel, that the explosion that collapses the tunnel and prevents them from leaving was never set off by the demolition crew. Hadley and Sitterson are working quickly to fix this oversight, as the trio is desperately attempting to flee. When the RV is halfway through the tunnel, it begins to collapse. They turn around and head back the way they came, barely escaping tragedy. With a dirt bike in the rear of the RV, Kurt chooses to leap the ravine and go for assistance. Like the bird, he hits the invisible barrier. After seeing what happened to Kurt, Dana and Holden acknowledge that Marty was correct all along. They turn around and return to the cabin in an effort to find a way out. The RV falls into the lake after Holden is stabbed in the head, and blood covers the scholar's outline. Unexpectedly, the RV contained a zombie. Dana defeats the zombie and escapes via the overhead hatch before swimming to the surface. When she is on the pier, the zombie emerges from the ocean and begins pounding the living daylights out of her. They are toasting a productive evening at the facility. Evidently, the Virgin doesn't have to pass away in order for the scheme to work, since all of the other sites, Japan, Germany, etc., have been unable to finish the ceremony. This is of utmost importance. They crack up the champagne and begin to sip. The phone rings. Hadley responds. The conversation turns heated. Evidently, the regulations weren't adhered to. There is one more who is still living. They will lose if Dana passes away first. The zombie dad continues to kick the snot out of Dana. When Marty suddenly appears, he strikes the zombie with his massive bong till he falls into the water. They flee into the woods after he takes Dana. The zombies are pursuing them. He dives into one of the graves from where the zombies emerged and begins excavating. Dana is unable to make sense of the situation. They tumble into a room when Marty suddenly unlocks a door, avoiding being grabbed by the zombie. Dana is informed by Marty that this was all staged, because he found an access panel and began fiddling with the cables inside. The tunnel didn't blow up as planned. In order to prove that someone dispatched the zombies to attack them, Marty gives Dana a tour of an elevator. They have no other alternatives, therefore they must use the elevator, even if she is worried about doing so. Dana and Marty can see a lot of other elevators through the elevator's glass window, and they are connected to the bizarre objects in the cabin's basement by otherworldly beings. The murderous bride, the puzzle ball, the doll faces, and the sugar plum fairy are among examples. Dana sees the connection and believes that the group of people chose the zombies as the method of their own demise. Dana and Marty have broken into the Watcher's facility, and this has caught them off guard. They arrange Marty's murder in order to maintain the desired sequence of an armed guard is dispatched to them, with the specific instruction to eliminate both of them, Marty first, but he fails when a zombie body in the elevator causes him to become distracted. He is eliminated by Dana and Marty, who then exit into the corridor. Over a POS system, a woman's voice addresses them, expressing sympathy for their situation, but urging that Dana and Marty must perish. They are then fired at by other armed guards, as they flee inside what seems to be a control room and hide. Monsters murder Hadley, Lynn, and Truman in the facility's control room. Just before it ends him, Hadley gets to view his merman for the first time. Dana stabs Sitterson when he activates an escape hatch and enters a stone passageway, where Dana and Marty have also landed themselves. Dana is hesitant to continue, but Marty hands her a revolver he stole from a guard who had passed away. Marty and Dana eventually find themselves in the space with all the character sketches. Dana discovers that there are 5 stone tablets for Marty, Holden, Kurt, and Jules, one for each of them. Everything that has occurred to them has been a component of ritual. They see the director, who speaks to them in the same voice they heard over the POS system. She provides information about the facility and its function. Even she and her peers are unsure of everything, but according to her, the ritual is performed all over the world in order to please the dark gods who formerly governed the earth. She claims it is older than anything known to man. Dana and Marty are both aware that they are standing over a hole leading to the location of the dormant ancient gods, after she claims that the creatures they have seen are nothing in comparison to them. The ceremony, according to the director, must follow certain guidelines in order to keep them dormant. There are 5 victims who are the first to pass away as the whore, Jules, followed by the virgin, the scholar, the athlete, and the idiot, also known as the reveler. As long as the whore is taken first, and the virgin is the last one living, it doesn't matter in what sequence they pass away. The director claims that the virgin's survival is in the hands of the gods. The ancient gods will re-emerge and wipe out humanity if this is not finished. According to the director, Marty must perish to save the planet. According to Marty, if a murderous ceremony is necessary to rescue humanity, perhaps humanity isn't worth preserving. Dana, who is torn between wanting the world to end and wanting to murder Marty, lifts the pistol and accidentally shoots him. Dana is suddenly assaulted by a werewolf, who continues to brutally maul her. Marty takes up the gun after she drops it and shoots the werewolf, causing it to flee, injured. The zombie girl from the journal arrives and ends the director, as she tries to end Marty. They both receive a kick from Marty into the god's pit. As they contemplate the end of the world, Dana and Marty make out and smoke a joint. The ground begins to tremble and split apart. The cabin shakes as the first of the ancient gods emerges. A massive hand bursts through it and smacks down on the ground in front of it.